And what
Right.
started on the notes of my phone, I literally wrote like almost like a 4 or 5 pager in one go.
How did you adapt to so many industries?
I was just there at the right time at the right place. And I said the right things. And I think data tells you what exactly is happening, whereas instinct actually tells you what can go wrong.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Thought in a Dot podcast. Our guest today is someone who's fluent in everything from brews to books. He's a marketing professional with over 17 years of experience who has worked across FMCG, Alcobev, luxury apparel, and real estate. Over 17 plus years, he has scaled brands like Kingfisher Bohemia Wine and Kingfisher Draft Cans, worked with giants like Britannia, Diageo in India, Africa and UAE, led multi-million dollar portfolios, built teams across cities and countries, and created campaigns like Divided by Team, United by Kingfisher that connected with people far beyond metrics. Deepkak, welcome to Thought in a Dot podcast. I'm so glad we are doing this.
Still not there? Likewise. Doing it for the very first time. Though
Yes.
I had a bit of a session with Lalita and Bharati in the past, but nevertheless, this is my first time, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, same here. So Deepak, welcome to Thought in a Dot podcast. And this is a special one. We are shooting virtual episode. So fingers crossed, hope all goes well.
Super excited to be here, Riddhi, and I think it's palpable. You can see it on my face, the extent to which I'm excited. I have, like you rightly said, I've done this once or twice before, but nevertheless, every time is like a first time. So the excitement is out there, and I can see it.
Having honest conversations one-on-one virtually is also equally, I'm sure, exciting for both the parties because there's something new that we can unravel while we go ahead and continue with our
Absolutely, absolutely. So all ears, all hearts, and all there to have this lovely episode with you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much. So, Deepak, as you know, you have already seen Thought and Dot podcast, and our podcast is usually divided into three parts, which is Kisse Kahani Kirdar, content, communications, and connections. Three things that help us move ahead on the career ladder or in life or otherwise. I think three most important things in life in shaping who you are as a person. So, taking from there, we kind of try to put that across on our podcast. Just like life and just like a book, there is no flow which is chronological within the podcast also. All these themes will keep coming one after the other or in between. So please be my guest. Feel free. I hope the conversation just flows and, we can explore a lot of content together. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Look at
what
that.
makes, as I just hinted also to our users, but I think the screen shows. So what makes today's conversation super interesting is now the storytelling that you have been putting in marketing has moved to a new book, which just has come, and we are talking to published author Deepak now, rather than just a marketer. So tell me something. How long has this idea been sitting in your heart of writing a book?
All right. I think all of us come with that bucket list of 50 things to do before we die. Mine is not as elaborate as 50 things to do. I just had a list of 10 things. But I definitely had this in me that writing a book was the epitome of it, in the sense it would probably feature among the top one or two in that list. I was always desirous, just that never had, that strong calling saying now is the time to actually start putting the thoughts together. So it so happened that one morning was just before COVID. So I can, in fact, vividly recall the date as well. It was 10th of March, 2020. In fact, just about 10-15 days before the COVID lockdown commenced.
Yeah.
Okay, there's this lovely thought that I'm having, and it's out there. Why can't I give it shape? And what started on the notes of my phone, I literally wrote like almost like a 4 or 5 pager in one go. And that is what exactly shaped the idea. And I read it myself and I could not believe. I mean, it was so impromptu. It was like an extempore of
Just
sorts, if I
happened.
could do it with me. And that's how it started. I mean, and I honestly speaking, like the regular books where you have like a thought process, a story flow, a sequence to it, etc., etc. I just went with the flow. So it was not like I had dissected and sort of put the ideas in a sequencing. X comes and then Y follows, and so does Z. Mine was just let's just go with the flow. Start writing, and it's going to lead to somewhere. Sure.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, and slowly it
Like
shipped on at
it to ECC being here right there with us. So it's led upstairs.
Absolutely. So that's the one. That's the one. Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you
this
so
is the
much
book
for
we're
having me on.
talking about, guys. ETC, it's out there. It's available on Amazon. Please get your copy. Make sure to drop a review on Goodreads as well. I'm sure this is something super different. You have not read something like this. At least I haven't read it from any Indian author so far. So for me, it was super amazing experience. More about the book later in the episode, by the way. Sorry, I couldn't contain the excitement and started off with this.
No. And I'm glad you got this because for some strange and stupid reason, I'm not keeping my book here. But nevertheless, now that you got it there, at least it made it to the screen.
No, it will.
See how it started. That's how it started. And here we are. I mean, I would say 4 years down the lane and 65,000 words down the lane. It's now seen the light of the day. There are 20 to 25 odd reviews that I've got on Amazon. I've got more than, let's say, 400 to 500 odd people who've actually picked up the book within a span of 45 odd days.
Wow.
So the numbers are shining. It's
That's an encouraging number for sure.
Absolutely. It's a long journey before, I satisfy myself saying that wherever it is, it's sort of, we've done the justice to it. But nevertheless, it's out there and super excited with the kind of reception I'm getting. My friends, my loved ones, in fact, people who have never known before, they have put comments which are so favorable. It sort of straightens and strengthens your spine to know that you said the right things and you've done the right things with that book. So yeah,
you have. As I said, I'll talk more about the book. It's just the thing that I wanted to start off with. And talking about numbers, you just said that, the numbers are very promising. Being in the marketing industry, both you and me know the power of numbers, data, scale, performance. And I don't know how many times we have gone back and convinced people of, "Arey aap ye dekho," but people always go back to what it all, what comes down to numbers.
Boils down to numbers, absolutely.
It does, right? So tell me something in your journey, because we are also talking about stories, we're talking about books, we're talking about numbers. Tell me in your life, have you personally experienced the power of story, the power of storytelling, and more strongly than strategy? It could be personal life, it could be something that you've experienced at work, and that shifted something in you as a leader.
I think it's a great question. To be honest, story is what drives me, and especially being a marketer for the longest of time, I think we are all here to tell stories,
Right.
And something which I could very clearly see early on in life was that strategy just makes you comply.
Right.
Story is what moves you. All right.
True.
So I would say that I've had some really strong performing teams, but it was not that the strategy that I had devised for the team is what worked. It is what the stories that changed the goalpost for them.
Right.
People start caring when they relate to the story and become one with the story.
Right.
Even from a consumer standpoint, if I have to give an example, I, for example, specialize in go-to-market strategies, and it's always been on paper. But what's validating and what's satisfying is when a consumer says that your product really is an intrinsic part of my life, because the story that you weaved around the product, it sort of beautifully sits with me and I relate to it. And that's when I really felt the power of story, because it's the story that walks into a house and not the strategy. So,
Right.
so I that's where for me as a leader, the tangential shift happens, where data is a goalpost. It just tells you what is happening right now. But story is what is, what eventually stays with your consumer. So I think
Right.
we are all here to make that lasting impact of what stays with you long after the conversation is gone. Even in my book, for
Right.
example, long after the last page is turned, what exactly stays with you? That's the story.
Right.
So,
Agreed.
Yeah, be it our lives or be it the professional life, people stay with the stories, be it Fevicol or be it Johnny Walker, be it the King of Good Times. Those are all great stories that have come out of brands. So yeah,
Uh,
the answer is
no,
stories.
I,
Yeah.
I feel, of course, you have a fantastic story when it comes to your own entire career, also from Alcobev to real estate to luxury apparel. Frankly speaking, between me and you, we work with a lot of real estate clients, and I have seen that most of the people who are working in the real estate field, when they're switching it, they find it very difficult. That is why when I was going through your journey across, and I was like, Bhai, how did he switch so quickly? You've switched from real estate to Alcobev to luxury to this. In between, there was something of your own that you were doing
Right.
sometime.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, how did he adapt? How did he quickly move into roles? And if story is your driving factor, then how did you mix so many stories together? मेरे दिमाग में तो Alcobev का real estate बच जाएगा. And that definitely will not work. So how people will like she's definitely high. Let's not get her out. So my point is, how did you switch industries and what is it? Because I want to ask because I have met leaders and this conversation has happened so many times with mid senior professionals कि भाई अब switch नहीं होगा. अब मैं इतने सालों से real estate में हूँ, अब मैं नहीं switch कर सकता हूँ. So so the question is two layers to it. One, if you were to advise mid senior professionals who are looking to switch from real estate to Alcobev or Alcobev to real estate, or generically if they are looking at switching, then what is it that you feel is good? And second is, of course, within it, how did you adapt to so many industries?
I think that's a brilliant question. And it's insightful as well in the sense, how my journey was. I was able to carve a journey for myself. And if there are nuggets of information that I can share with budding
Exactly.
professionals and help them take the right call, I would attribute a lot of it to luck, Riddhi. I was just there at the right time at the right place. And I said the right things and I impressed people with the right frame of mind and the thoughts. There was a cohesive environment in terms of thoughts flowing from me and being received by the other person in the right manner. But to put it in perspective, I think what really lent me the ability to scale industries was the canvas. Early on in my career, I was able to work on a really larger than life canvas. So I would go back to the days of Kingfisher when, you're doing campaigns like IPL, you're doing campaigns like the Formula One, you're doing campaigns like the Great Indian Oktoberfest. They are larger than life. People,
Right.
the dream and the desire to work on brands like Kingfisher and to execute activations like the way I did in life. When I, let's say, move on to industries and I go into a real estate or a luxury apparel, when I show them the size and the scale of my ability to strategize and execute things, that is where the seamless cohesion comes in. Because everyone wants to see your capability of executing things that are larger than life, and then you trickle down into the finer aspects of, strategizing it and bringing down into the microscopic operational efficiency. So that is what was able to, I was able to bind things together. I was able to show them the larger than life imagery that where would your brand be, let's say 2 years down the lane. So where are you right now? Where do you want to transcend? And I have the capability to take your brand there. I mean, I was able to step ladder my career moving from Alco to FMCG to luxury apparel to real estate. But the seamless binding force across all these was my ability to weave stories, show them an imagery which was larger than life, paint a canvas, which was, where do you see your brand, let's say, a couple of years down the lane, and then put all this together with operational efficiency, saying that while I have the vision, I also have the capability to execute this, materialize this, and convert this for you.
Right.
Now, the second question, which you said that a lot of people get stuck to a certain industry and they're not able to come out of it. I think early on in my career, I was very clear that I don't want to be a generalist of sorts.
Right.
What happens is, I don't want to be a industry specific expert.
Yeah.
I want to be a marketing generalist. What happens is, if you look at marketing, end of the day, what it is, whether I give you a 5 rupees ka Parle Ji or I give you a total environment house, which is worth, let's say, 15 odd crore, what seamlessly goes in between is how do you sell that 5 rupees ka Parle Ji the binding in the emotional and the functional relevance? And how do you cater to the tastes and aspirations of someone who's buying a 15 to 20 crore villa? The
Right.
story remains the same. You need to cater to the endpoint audience. What is that they're looking for? And I think that's as marketeers, you and I would relate to it, that you bring on those relevant stories, fix in the nuggets, which is in terms of consumer insights, try and identify the opportunity gaps if they exist, or create one where none exists, and then try and sell them across. That's exactly been the journey cycle, to put it very simply across. In fact, well,
You're putting it way too simply. You're putting it way too simply. Let me be very honest. Saying that I don't want to be an industry specific person. A lot of you who are looking at switching, one thing that I could actually gauge out of this entire conversation is the fact that your agility, your ability, the both to actually find something and put it to a relevance into another industry is very important. The fact that you are the functionality of it all, जो आपका skill है, जो आपका हुनर है, उसको right जगह पे place करना is in itself, you saying and putting it onto luck is not, you are actually selling it short, and you're being modest right now. It's not luck for sure, because आज के ज़माने में if you go and you find someone who say, "Hey, I can sell Parle G," and if you've sold Parle G for, I don't know, 15 years, and now you go and say, "Okay, इतने दिन मैंने Parle G बेचा, now I'll send villas." People are like, "Dude, you've sold something to this audience group, and now you're talking about selling villas." Your audience is, the person will not sit and have Parle G in the villa. So
No,
that's the
very
first
well
question
said.
that will be asked.
No, which is where I said that the reason I attributed a couple of those aspects to luck was, see, the first job that you choose is something that's thrown in your lap. All right. So, for example, we are all in MBA, and then we are pretty much applying for every single company that's coming in the campus. And I was very clear that I don't want to go into service industry. I want to pick up a product industry. I was not
Right.
a person who was bound for services to begin with. I was very clear the tangibility and the touch and feel aspect of a product is what I want to relate to in my life. And I relate to it as well. You know? So to land a dream job like Kingfisher, to be a part of a brand
Right.
like Kingfisher early on in the
Exactly.
career, like I said, to be
Yeah.
exposed to the kind of things that I've done, I, more than my ability to convince the seniors who came for interview, I would attribute a lot of it to luck as well. Because there were so many of fellow colleagues or friends in the campus who applied for it, but yet I was the one who was able to slice and dice and crack through it. So while a lot of us attribute things to hard work, I'm one of those who very firmly believes that
No,
luck
of course.
plays a very
There is
significant
something beyond us
Yes,
as well that works
yes.
in your favor or without your favor. I agree to that part. But having said that, because you were on the conversation, I feel it's maybe 50% luck sometimes it's 10% luck, but 90% is also hard work. And the fact that you have, I think one thing that I could pick up from this entire conversation is that having that clarity of thought, that okay, at the end my concepts are very clear. मुझे पता है कि मुझे, I feel बहुत ही बेसिक भाषा में one thing that I could take away from this entire conversation is कि अगर मुझे मैथ्स अच्छे से आती है तो फिर मैं सब कर लूंगा, या फिर as my father says, अगर अकाउंट्स आती है तो बिजनेस चल जाएगा. So वही है, if your concept of how to tell stories, if your clarity of the product or the service or the brand or the industry that you're talking about is right there, then the operational efficiency and then your experience will never falter. So that's how you were able to actually
completely.
switch. So when I look at your career, and you just kind of dropped a hint to my next question, is that you never wanted to be in service industry. You were someone who's wanted to directly connect to the consumer. But when you sit down on paper, was there ever a decision that was very instinctive and it turned out wrong in this journey? Have there been
Many a
instances
times.
that you
Many a times.
So how did you damage control that situation? I'm sorry, I often digress from the question. So how did you damage how did you damage control out of a situation which did not work in your favor because you went instinctively? Was data something that helped you put the picture together, or was there something very unexpected that turned tables at that time?
All right. I think it's a great question. And the way I would put it is it's a tussle between data versus instinct. Right?
Yeah.
We begin life solidifying our hypotheses or our assumptions basis the data that's thrown at us. But eventually in life, there is this gut feeling that come what may tells you whether a
Intuition.
decision is going to work in your favor or not. I
Yeah.
think data tells you what exactly is happening, whereas instinct actually tells you what can go wrong. When it
Yeah.
comes to a consumer facing industry, and for that matter, anything in life. I mean,
Any
you take
industry, yeah.
doctors. You take doctors, for example. Most of the new age doctors will tell you XYZ test karo, come back to me with all these results, and basis that I'll give you my prognosis. But there
Yeah.
are some doctors, because they got years of accumulated experience, all they will tell you is XYZ, you tell me your problem statements and your symptoms, and they'll tell you, beta, ye exactly तुम्हारी problem hai. Because that's the gut, that's the years of accumulated experience that tells them that if all these variables are acting against you, then the problem has to be somewhere in that hemisphere. I think same is the case with us. With, let's say, 16, 18 odd years of experience, while you obviously want to solidify and build the foundations of a campaign or any executional idea on the mounds of data that you have. You siphon through the mounds of data that you
Is
have.
there an example you can give us? If not something that is under wraps, maybe some campaign which you turned around because of the fact that. Take your time.
I mean, there is a campaign which is, I was with Orient Bell, the company which is into buildings and construction industry affiliated tiles. It's into tiles. And there was a campaign that we had done, which is Hands That Built India.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if we look at traditionally, when we looked at data on Instagram, when we looked at data on short format stories and reels, we realized that we are trying to work on something which is long format and will not work on, let's say, a campaign like YouTube Shorts focused. How would you therefore try and build a story where the call to action comes much later?
Right.
So who's going to stick on to a story which everyone knows that those formats, they work when the CTA or the endpoint promise comes within the first 5
Something
seconds.
to hook the.
And you're talking about something that comes after 30, 35 seconds. So data, like I said, is against us. But because the way it was shot was so profound, was so moving and so intense. And, from a position point of view, we were exactly near Republic Day. And as such, people's emotions are pretty high. You're high up on patriotism, there is a fervor that's through your veins, everything is patriotic in the environment. And you created something which is Hands That Built India. So you're talking about labor in their life and exactly the people who shape up our homes. And, but they are the real force that builds India. So it was very intense. And we felt that the gut told in us that the story is going to stick with you. And for all that I think it was year 2020, we featured among the top 5 best ads that were topical in nature. It was rated by Times of India as the best ad, topical in nature, and something that absolutely resonated with people. So,
The stories were so powerful and the visuals were so powerful.
Absolutely. So you had people who stuck till 30, 35 seconds to eventually wait for the climax that connects with you, that what is the story that you're trying to tell. Otherwise, a world which is so, transient and superfluous, you don't actually wait for people to, realize your core message after some 35, 40 seconds. So that, I think, it gives a very clear example that why data takes you into what exactly is happening. It is the instinct that actually helps you connect with what exactly will work and what exactly will fail. And I think in this current,
you do trust intuition.
absolutely, in this current world where the stakes are so high, I would say that I operate on the mix and match of both of these. If there is data that justifies your premise, but somewhere in you tells you that something is not right, then I prefer to take that pause. And trust me on this when I say so many times that pause has actually helped me far more than actual spreadsheets and dashboards have. That pause and reflect and internalize and connect your gut with the data. That has really helped me a lot in life. That pause has really helped me.
Very nice. I got a framework. Pause, reflect, internalize, and connect. Super cool. Next LinkedIn post ideas, guys. Directly from Deepak. मेरे दिमाग का दीपक जल गया. Okay. So someone will now make it what? PRIC, prick, is your framework now. Pause, reflect, internalize. We should come up with a better, add a E to it. It'll become price.
I think I need to move on. Internalize and action and all. I think we need to move on from fictional books to management gyan already. I think that could be the let's put that thing on.
Internalize, connect, and educate. So here you go. I'll take it, entertain, you take educate. Yeah, that's the price you pay. If today's day and age, let's go to the most buzzword that we are all listening. And now that soon I'll switch to the other topic. How do you think AI is impacting our industry?
Excellent question. Yes, the impact is profound.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about it.
Both you and me are feeling it.
There's no doubt about it. The only difference which I feel is AI is not the end or stifling of creativity. It's rather the beginning of creative convenience. Let's look at it this way. AI definitely is able to assimilate, imitate, and reproduce stuff in a much faster manner. It's able to cut short on the journey cycle that you and I will put together and spend weeks together, and that gets done in technically a couple of hours. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
But what it definitely cannot snatch away from us is the ability to feel, desire and to write stories which have to be felt or lived through so as to come out there and resonate with you.
Right.
There are a lot of things in life which you are able to relate to because you have lived through those moments, and there is a certain degree of associative reference that comes to it. Even in my book, for example, there could be moments which are out there, which are, could have mushroomed in your life.
Right.
And you relate to them, it's the relatability aspect that comes into play. I think that is what AI will truly miss. So AI is not cutting short. It helps you create content, but it not necessarily is able to create that pulse for you. The pulse will eventually remain you, the inherent living, breathing.
The stories, the soul. Exactly. That's what I was
talking. Soul will always remain the pulse.
Yeah.
It'll definitely, like I said, it's an aided convenience. It's a creative convenience at your disposal, no doubt about it.
But
And
it's doing our creativity for sure.
No doubt about
The dependence on it,
There's no denial. There's no denial. In fact, you won't believe there are times when I write a page or two, and before I actually make someone read it, I put it across to a chat GPT and say, does it make sense? So why don't you tell me that there is coherence to what I'm writing instead of me going astray? And you got answers coming out in seconds. So here I make those pages and I give it to my wife, and then like ETC was that, I would write chapters, I give it to her, and then I'll ask her, are you able to bring in relatability? Does it continue to, make sense versus, let's say, the initial first five chapter that you've read? So
she'll be happier in the next book, yeah. She'll have less reading to do. She'll read it in the end only. She'll be like, I remember when I used to be in college, no, people be like running away. Give me three. Let's go all Instagramish. Give me 3 tips for full-time professionals wanting to write a book to reach that, and I will note them down for myself.
I think tip number 1 would be, like I said, this word is something that has been surfacing in our conversation time and again, consistency. Even if you're able to write a page or even write half a page a day, right? Because what happens is that somewhere subliminally, the story still stays with you.
Right.
So if you are completely disoriented and the story, comes back to your life after, let's say, a span of 2 months, the dynamics are changed dramatically. So you no longer relate to the essence of it the way you did 2 months back. Which is why to stay on the subject, even if it requires you to be there half a day,
right,
just try and be there. Number two, which is very, very important, is to write. You also need to read. A lot of us don't have this habit of reading at all, which is why it is very profoundly said that about India, and it's very disheartening, which is to say, we are a country of lot of writers, we are a country of very few readers. कोई पढ़ता नहीं है यहाँ पे. So उसमें क्या होता है ना,
यहाँ पे
आप जब
we
लिखने
like
जाते
to
हो,
show that we read. अब ये नया जनरेशन.
very well. So इसमें जब आप लिखने जाते हो ना, you realize कि thoughts don't flow in the way they're supposed to. आप you're disconnected. आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा लिखना क्या है. और इसको एक होता है, I'm very sorry to say this, रामू यहाँ से यहाँ तक गया. Now रामू यहाँ से यहाँ तक गया को आपको ब्यूटिफाई करना है, आपको रामू को डिफाइन करना है, और रामू कैसा लगता है, वो सिचुएशन कैसा है, वहां तक
गया वो
भी जा रहा है. Yeah, because Riddhi or Deepak, when they're reading that Ramu story, they need to be exactly where Ramu is. What was the environment like? Was it snowing there? How did the snow feel like? Was it soft snow? Was it like acupuncture needles piercing through your face? So, you need to be, you need to define the environment. So, एक होता है linear narrative. रामू गया X से Y. रामू X से Y तक कैसे पहुंचा is where the beauty of a writer comes into play. And
Right.
that comes in only when you read. Like, you read Dan Brown style of writing. I'm like heavily into mystery. I love fiction. So so yeah. So therefore, how do you define a place? Like, those are acclaimed novelists who go to a place, like the recent one, which is The Secret of Secrets, which I'm reading right now. By the way, one of the most voluminous book I've ever read in my life. He is in Prague and he's literally defining street by street, let's say a tavern by tavern. यहाँ से लेफ्ट लोगे क्या आएगा, वहां का लैम्प पोस्ट कैसा दिखता है, इस बिल्डिंग की क्या स्पेशल. That's the extent of detail. No, it happens when you stay in a place, you internalize that place. So that price model, you internalize that and you literally play it back verbatim to your readers.
Right.
Now, I obviously did not have the luxury of going and staying in Amur or Lazovsky Reserve, which I've defined in my book and all. But that is where the power of secondary
It comes into.
Okay. You need to internalize that place and literally play that back to your readers so that they also feel that they are in that place instead of just random stuff that you're just writing about it.
Right.
So that's, I think, how I would say. So those are two things. One is to say that you need to write.
Consistently
Read. And number three, I would say is, it's a very beautiful line which once an MD, ex-MD of mine, Orient Bell, the company which I spoke to you about, which was into tiles, I once asked that MD, okay, at the age of 50, he started running full marathons. And now he's a legend, okay? He runs cross-country, runs full marathon, went for Ironman, goes for triathlon. So that's the kind of person that he's become.
Wow.
So once I asked him, I said, you have a team at your disposal. There is a फिटनेस एक्सपर्ट जो आपको बताता है आपको क्या खाना है, आपको कब उठना है, आपको क्या करना है, etc., etc., etc. How do we intrinsically motivate ourselves? So he gave me a very, very beautiful answer which still stays with me. And this I will say to everyone. Always remember why you started something. The end will automatically come when you give importance to the meaning of why did I start this. So the same thing. If you give yourself the importance to that word, why did I start writing this book? I had 1,000 other things to do in life. मैंने किताब लिखनी क्यों शुरू करी?
Right.
जब उस चीज का जवाब आप अपने आप से पूछोगे ना,
क्यों
start writing
right.
more. You'll start writing more. And that's a lovely line. If you think of it, the depth of it, it's a lovely line. Why would I start doing this? I could have done something else, but I did this, and therefore at least let me give that respect that it deserves. So I'm not only respecting the process, I'm respecting my own desire to do something in life. So at least respect yourself and your choice.
Very nice.
You could have done anything. Fitness expert बन सकते थे, मछली का ही खाना खिला सकते थे, रोज अपनी मछली को aquarium में कुछ भी कर सकते थे. Why did you start writing? So give respect to that process and the consistency and the respect, and the commitment that it desires from you.
True.
And
so
then
consistently reading and always remember the why. These are the
always remember the why.
These are the three things that Deepak
These are the
suggests.
three profound things which I definitely feel at least have shaped me, the person to whom I am, who I am today.
Very nice. Beautiful. When I was going through the book, going through the book, there were two themes that stood out for me. Of course, you always have the good and the bad. You have all those themes always there. But what stood out for me, and I'll take the first part of it now, is that it's a very different brand of storytelling. Okay, it's something different in terms of course, you said mystery, something that you are into. So, of course, there was a lot of mystery to it. It was emotionally raw. There was something very dark about the book, which was there, which I could sense. But at the same time, there was a very strong faith that drove the book right from starting till end. This
Beautiful.
tug of war, I'm sure you've personally experienced the power of faith. That's precisely why it's there. Otherwise, it wouldn't have woven the book together the way it has. What part of you needed to tell the story? It's not something which will come in a dream. It will not something which is very straight line ki theek hai, aisa hua, फिर ये अच्छा हो गया, फिर ये बुरा हो गया. It's a full-fledged dharma production right there. भाई सब हो रहा है इसके अंदर. I'm like, इधर भी चीजें हो रही है, उधर भी चीजें हो रही है, पॉलिटिक्स भी आ रही है, बीच में स्पेस भी आ रहा है, बीच में कुछ और भी आ रहा है. बट टू थिंक ऑफ इट इन दैट डेप्थ, अब कोई मजाक बनाने के लिए एक लाइन में बोल देगा कि क्या है ये. बट आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट इन दैट सेंस. आई एम ट्राइंग टू आस्क these things, these themes, these tropes to come to a common man sitting reading. I'm sure you're an avid reader, you've gone through hundreds of books, but to pick and choose कि ये 5 themes हैं कि Adi as a character will be someone into perfumes, Iti as a person will be into space. भाई कैसे आती है ये सब कहानियां?
I think it all, see, end of the day, what happens is, number one, you're writing a debut novel. So, like you rightly said, the authorial voice, a lot of it out there is translation of what happened in my real life and who I am as a person. To answer the previous question which you asked, who are you, Deepak? I'm a very inquisitive person by nature. So, अगर कुछ हो रहा है तो वो क्यों हो रहा है जानना बहुत जरूरी है मेरे लिए. कहते हैं ना कि इन हिंदी तर्क वितर्क वाले की हर एक पीछे सवाल पूछो. सवाल पूछना तुम्हारा राइट है. जानना या ना जानना is subjective and up to an individual. But सवाल पूछना तुम्हारा राइट है.
Of course.
So I keep asking questions. I'm very inquisitive to know if something has happened, why it has happened.
Yeah.
And the depth of it that you see is probably a reflection of a lot of who I am as an individual. So it's not like a reference which is put there. So even if she's a geophysicist, Iti is a geophysicist.
Yeah.
I will detail a lot into geology. What is
Yeah.
a chondrite? What is accredited matter that comes from space? कैसे होता है? क्या होता है? I'm hugely into documentaries. In fact, लोग free time में बैठ के, Netflix में what is the latest stuff that they have come? I will rather be going on Discovery and Nat Geo and trying to figure out what's happening in the world, So I'm one of those who wants to be aware of all that's happening around. That to a lot of extent is actually translated into the book. अब क्या होता है ना,
You're aware. Very nice.
Unlike a J.R. Tolkien who wrote, let's say, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is, to me, the epitome of fiction that there can be.
Agreed. The world he created, the maps,
the world he created, to the language he wrote, to
everything. It's like so detailed. Tolkien's that Bhagwan ji of everything.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Agreed.
You have to be an exception to be Tolkien, but all the others, like me, or for that matter, like Ridhi, will be writing a lot of themselves in their books as well. This is how I see the world. This is me as a person, and therefore a reflection of me is very inherent as far as the book is concerned, as far as the writing is concerned. I think the same happened with me. So the first book, a lot of it is me as an individual, someone who's extremely inquisitive.
Yeah,
and
there are lots of
so
players. Yeah.
you started Aroma, and then you went into the lady, the protagonist, and there you want to define her as an individual. You wanted to give something which is absolutely unique. It's very easy to say कि college जाती है, psychology honors पढ़ती है, BCom पढ़ती है, CA है, MBA है. These are very defined paradigms of life. So I wanted to figure out something which is more than that, because today's day and age, people are so individualistic and they want to pick up things that are so relatable. I know a senior of mine, his daughter is straight away after college went to Trinity College of London and she studied music. So that's the kind of people that are there today. Why should we archetype them and put them in the same silos of saying, ye CA hoga, ye MBA hoga,
True.
ye hoga, engineering hoga? The world is so dynamic. So why not look at something which is absolutely out there? But just because you understand, you don't want to write about it. So I researched. जियोफिजिसिस्ट क्या करते हैं, जियोलॉजी का सब्जेक्ट जो होता है, स्पेस में क्या होता है, अगर आप नासा का एक कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करते हो उसमें क्या होता है. So then I went online, I researched about this ProAm, which is professional amateur conferences that happen in the world, where your professional astronomers, astrophysicists, when they come together and they meet the amateurs who are serious about space science, what happens in those conclaves. So it's an amalgamation of all that I am, which is inquisitive me,
Beautiful.
and a reflection of me, which is out there in the characters that you read. So the beauty of that book is in everyone, whether it is the good, the bad, the ugly, there's a little bit of Deepak in there. So the bad will also have a reflection of me. The good will also have a reflection of me.
Very nice.